Our tale begins in the lowlands of the Sal lowlands of the land of Sahltur, a place of immense heat during the day under the light of 5 suns, and immense cold at night when those suns disappear, leaving only the shattered fifth to illuminate the skies so far overhead. From the wealthy powers that be atop the Great Rim, where life is verdant and green, plentiful, to those barely scraping by on the salt lowlands in what's called the Blank, a great, seemingly endless expanse of salt mostly salt mixed with sand, brutalizing anyone that tries to cross it without the proper protections. It is an age of progress technologically, as black powder and steam power have, in most instances, replaced horse and buggy for travel across the salt plains, though those themselves are too dangerous for any one person, like I said, to not be properly prepared to cross. Our story starts on a single train at the highest point of noon during the day. High noon, as that would be, because that's what that is. Not slowly, but chugging its way along the rails, a green blur whizzing past the dunes of the various dunes and the faintly pink-leaved palms of the Virgil palms. Most of what you've seen upon this journey thus far has been salt, some rocks, some more salt. There was a gigachill at one point. It's been a largely uneventful journey. But it has been, of all things, uneventful thus far. A couple of leery glances from the very well-to-do passenger cars about 5 or 6 trains up, as you all had initially boarded and had your things brought back to where you would be staying. But for the most part, it's been fairly smooth. A little bit of rocking here and there, maybe some rough spots where the tracks weren't in such great shape. Mr. Galen, where on the train are you and what are you doing?
Probably in whichever cart has my wagon.
Well, in that case, and if you could, in which case, your wagon has not been, in order to secure passage with the funds that you had, you were able to not necessarily get passage for yourself and your companions.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Ron. Not necessarily get passage for yourself and your companions, but more necessarily count yourselves as cargo that just sort of came with the wagon, and then pay for the fees to have the animals boarded. As such, the conductor, a rather squinting suspiciously at you, in on the train station outside St. Karam had agreed, an elderly sort of dwarvish fellow had agreed, though with no small amount of suspicion, to simply count you as cargo aboard the wagon, as it were. So, as we move in towards the wagon, please describe your character.
Okay. So, Galen he's a tiefling man. Very, red skin, horns, well taken care of, just like almost the medium to short length hipster haircut, basically. Like, it's swept back. He's got the well maintained beard. Yeah, the tail is kind of just doing its thing. He dresses very casually. He's got like jeans, boots, a V-neck T-shirt, and over top of it, basically like a light, basically like just a tan jacket, enough to keep the sun off of him, and maybe a little bit of wind protection at night, but very much just a plainly dressed looking guy with decent hair and, devilish appearance. Black eyes with just a glowing iris.
Right, and he just said he's
shy of 6 feet.
Right. You said he's just sort of hanging out inside the wagon, yeah?
Yeah, making sure that that his two gigachillas that pull the wagon are doing okay.
Well, having just done another walkthrough of the train, to go check on them. What are their names, by the way?
So, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think I'm just gonna go with, let's see.
I want to see if you...
Odd name.
Thinking I'm gonna have Dusty and Milo.
Okay. Got it. Notes taken. Okay. Yeah, getting back up through the... So the way that it's set up, there are two storage... There's an open air storage car. Your wagon is just kind of like chained to the metal floor of the...
Some like tire straps, yeah.
Basically tire straps. With a couple of other, looks like furniture, like pews maybe. Some other crates, just kind of strapped down out here. With kind of chain of... It's kind of rusted and old, sturdy, but doesn't have many years left in it. Kind of making your way back across it, having just come back. Getting up there, dodging the glances of the couple of well-mannered folk that were kind of already in the animal kind of holding areas. You see a couple of other much younger gigachillas, which are these giant... I mean, they're essentially 6-foot-long chinchillas with just shock white fur.
It's a big chinchilla.
They are called gigachillas. And
The size of donkeys.
about the size of donkeys. And having one of those that looks like the fur has been groomed to almost make it look like basically a giant snowball sitting inside of like a black kind of like metal pen with like little pigtails that have been kind of tied into it. This is not yours. This is being attended to by a very finely dressed family of looks like humans that are lifting their small child up to like look in at it to its to both its and her delight. As you pass, they both kind of like the father, kind of an older man, silver fox streaks, kind of like starting to appear, and the wife, kind of like with the gray and black hair, both kind of look at you and like a sneer, and
Just
move.
give them a casual smile and nod. Keep walking. After I get out of earshot, just mutter to myself like, "There's no way to treat an animal like that. Poor thing."
Finally, eventually getting to yours, which are at the kind of the middling section. There are these two side by side, almost like stable situations. The whole cart is basically a giant, like dark green metal, cylinder with black metal walls on the inside that vaguely smells of animals. As in, there's just kind of grates in the floors that you can kind of see the railways just like with just great speed. Windows kind of set into each one, and they come up to yours, and Dusty, it appears, is awake. Though it's only by the slow blinking of the starting to get a little bit cloudy eyes that you can tell he is, because he's just lying on his side. Little husks of the Virgil coconuts that these giant things eat, just kind of lying around, like these big, like pinkish shells, just kind of lying all around it. Just the eye just kind of swivels up and just gives this little chirp.
Get your rest in while you can. One day we're going to be back on the road, eh?
Eye just kind of like remains on you for a minute before it just kind of like... Before Dusty just kind of stretches and just rolls over to his other side.
Just give him some belly rubs and just sit with them a little bit.
As you're rubbing Dusty's belly, there is a very heavy thud from the other side. As you know, Milo has a sixth sense of when one of them is getting attention and the other one isn't.
As most dogs would also.
All right. Don't worry, I can dual wield this. Then just both arms, belly rub on each of them. There we go.
Yeah, kind of just reaching through and just like under, just kind of giving these two. They are both. Whereas the very wealthy families, Gigachilla, is this white puff ball of fur with like little ribbons tied into the tail and like pigtails going down the side, and the longer kind of ears ending in like very manicured like braids almost. These guys are very big, much bigger than that one, but the fur is matted, clean,
Like scrungy cats.
like basically, yeah, matted. Very clearly older animals, but they are like physically muscular as far as these would go. And the paws just kind of like scrape along the kind of the metal grates. And as you're petting these two, you see this family just kind of like looking at you, like basically crouching among like the hay and the muck and the mess, just kind of like, what on earth? I didn't know. It's like, is he conducting himself that way? Just animals. It's just kind of whispering to themselves as they're looking at you. Strange people, I tell you. Strange people, Mildred.
I pay them no mind, and I treat animals the way they should be treated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sit on the floor and you love your pets.
And their daughter seems less antagonistic, more just kind of like vaguely interested in the other ones, though she kind of keeps her own peace. And eventually this family moves on, leaving you alone in the pen with the various other animals of other passengers that have come aboard the train.
I will be right back. Someone is like rapidly ringing the doorbell.
Okay. Which leads us to, and I'm kind of picking at random, Briar or Penelope.
Yes.
Where are you on the train, and what are you doing?
I think she's in the cart that the most expensive tickets are bought for. I think she's made her way to the area with the greatest amount of amenities to be had.
Right. Also, I apologize to everybody. I did not realize I was mutable as eating that candy. But quickly making your way back towards the very front of the car. The very front of the car, wherein the very what's the word I'm looking for? Spartan nature of everything drifts away fairly quickly as first you hit the dining car, you know? Like, that's the first thing that we hit. And it is, once you hit the dining car, it is just white linen tables, red kind of fleur-de-lis carpets with like little magical lanterns on them that just have like kind of like a floating chunk of like what looks like crystal or something kind of floating inside of it, providing light. Pete, two separate like side compartments with paneled oak, with like paneled wood against the side with like frosted glass, and like as you kind of enter, you kind of hear people laughing, the sound of people drinking, merrymaking. And at the farther end is more of a lounge area where people are just sort of the well-to-do folk are just sort of kind of hemming and hawing, and you believe the price of gunpowder these days? The price of it's just like rich people that have too much money talk. And as you're making your way through, please describe your character.
Penny is slightly taller than average, probably around 5'7" or 5'8". She is currently the picture of a perfect lady. She has excellent posture. Her hair, which is typically a very fiery red, is currently actually a very light platinum blonde. And her features are all slightly, not necessarily warped, but a little bit stretched. She purposefully looks different enough to where people wouldn't be able to pick her out of a lineup if they saw her actual face, using her disguised self. And her hair is pulled up in a very elaborate updo with pinned curls and some kind of little hat or veil of some sort, very, of the fashion at the moment. And she's wearing not necessarily scandalous, but a dress that is definitely extremely current, slightly pushing the bounds of propriety, but very, very finely made. It's a deep red color with fine fabrics, perfect stitching, decorative embroidery. She just looks every bit the wealthy socialite, the heiress, the meant to be in this area type woman that she wants people to see.
All right. And as you're kind of moving through the cars here, right? The cars here are different than more of the service storage kind of stuff that you're walking through, right? To get up here. Most of that is just it's boxy. It's meant to serve a purpose. All of the carts up on this side are very nice. They kind of have a nice rounded, almost beveled on the outside edges to them, and a little bit taller than maybe the other engines towards the back, or maybe the other cars towards the back. And in here, even the sound of the train, like kind of rumbling over the tracks, is a little bit more muted. You entering this room draw the eye of everybody for at least a moment. Easily you are the most interesting thing in the room at the moment. Any number of people kind of sitting at their tables. You notice that one of the tables where a old halfling couple are eating what looks like some sort of like a roast or something. Kind of just like you see the wife is talking. The husband's doing a thing where he's just nodding along, and then he sees you walk by and he turns. He's this old halfling man in a very fine like waistcoat with like a cane that's kind of been propped up against the side of against the wall, and like this just glorious like big mustache that's just way too big for his face, right? And kind of like balding kind of on the top. He looks a little bit like a miniature Mr. Monopoly, right?
Oh my god.
Just in this very fine spats, just kind of turning like as his wife is talking to him, and just turning in his chair with like a piece of like meat like halfway to his mouth, watching you walk by, and then quickly snap back to reality as his wife like just smacks the side of his head and just brings him back to it. Brings him back to where he's supposed to be. In this cabin, unlike in the service cabins where maybe the train staff might rest, these cabins are guarded. Two armed officers either end of the car, just kind of watching everything with kind of muted just muted disinterest. They're trying to look alert, but like you can kind of tell that they think they're guarding a bunch of like wealthy people with more money than sense. And their eyes too kind of fix on you for a moment. Kind of quickly, like you see one of them just kind of like slap his buddy, just be like, hey, look at her. He kind of just, what? Kind of a human guy with like glasses, kind of props himself up a little. Oh yeah, look at her. You think she's seeing anyone? Won't be seeing you. How do you know that? I think anybody with money would want to see you. Hold on, you know I have plenty of money. Oh yeah, where? What makes you think she wouldn't want to see me? And thus the argument kind of quietly broiling at the other end of the train. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're in this car in particular?
Penny is scoping the joint. I think she probably at some point on her way through the dining car would have just very naturally and like subtly swiped a glass of wine or some kind of beverage as she passed a table, so she has something to hold. And she looks kind of natural and like I'm meant to be here, and she's looking for people who are wearing jewelry. She's trying to figure out who has the most money in this cart.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to you. You can either roll me an insight or you can roll me an investigation. Because
just better for me.
Both will give you things.
They are the same. So let me see.
15, not bad. So with a 15, you initially kind of like your eyes gravitate towards one of these very, very wealthy, clearly wealthier older men that are, that are resplendent, right? Some of these older men, usually it's like a nice waistcoat, really nice vest, like a cravat, nice press shirt with like diamond or emerald cufflinks, maybe. Some of them are missing teeth, and those teeth tend to have gemstones instead, like with like gold filigree in them. Like people that have just wealth, right? And you kind of start thinking, oh, maybe one of them. But then, like, your eyes slide over to the disapproving glare of their wives and husbands next to them. And kind of go, never mind. So you take a different tact, different thought process. You look for the one that is the loudest and the bawdiest out of all of them. Like, the one that's young. The one that doesn't look like he's paying too much of a heed for his surroundings. Maybe he's a little too deep in his drinks. And, like, just instantly you locate that guy. He is he's a dragonborn gentleman. Kind of sitting at the far end, kind of by himself with a group of other dragonborn. That is just loudly and just sort of just like, I tell you, when I tell you this gun has killed more of them Brotherhood bastards than any of y'all could count to. I mean it. And he is waving around this it's a revolver, but it is a just gem-encrusted revolver. Like, shine to a mere finish. And, like, the more you look at him, the more that you're like, yeah, he's got, like, the big leather duster on, but there's no signs of wear on it, right? He's got the big, like, black hat, but it's got, like, gemstones worked into the brim. And, like, a gold filigree in the band. This is a guy that really is, and he has no one around him that's really listening to him. He has a small group of his personal friends, but even they're kind of like, oh, Christ. It's just like, kind of like looking for an escape or an out. He's probably going to be your better bet.
Okay. In that case, I would like to utilize one of my sorcery points, and I would like to cast Charm Person on him, but use my subtle spell feature.
One more time, I'm sorry?
I'm gonna subtle spell Charm Person.
Okay. Subtle spell. I thought you said befuddle spell. I'm like, that's not a thing.
No.
Okay, what's your save DC on that?
It is 15 wisdom.
Ooh.
He's so wise.
In a moment where he particularly is reliving a daring story about how I once gunned down 12 of those bastards with 3 bullets. Like this! And he starts just like... You get the impression he's pretty deep in whatever it is he's drinking. And he starts like fanning the hammer on the on the revolver at like the 2 people at the table. And they both go, what? Just like instinctively jump. And like... I guess that brief moment of his own presumably imagined courage just gives him just enough to kind of blink and be like, what was I talking about?
Okay.
He hasn't noticed.
Okay. I think she's just gonna decide that she has to do this the old-fashioned way. So she's gonna walk over and pretend to notice the gun for the first time and just say, "Oh my goodness, that is a fine weapon, Prophet."
Well, thank you. These fine gentlemen don't seem to take appreciation to the fine arts, the craftsmanship of warfare.
Well, that is just a shame. I've been so bored on this train this entire time. I would love to sit, if you wouldn't mind, of course, and chat with you further about this.
He has this, like, kind of this just... What? Hang on. He, like, just kind of, there's no reason why he wouldn't just... Why, certainly. Certainly. And he, like stands up. He stands up and pulls out a chair. And, please, ma'am, have a seat.
Oh, a gentleman. I appreciate it so. My father actually collected firearms as well, so I have a keen interest in them myself.
Well, now. He was a collector, was he? Sure, he'd love to get his hands on this piece here. I paid myself a right pretty penny for it, and it has saved my life on hundreds of occasions.
Could I hold it for a moment, if you wouldn't mind, of course?
A brief little moment of hesitancy kind of clouds his face. Give me a persuasion.
Okay. No! Oh my god.
Oh no.
I'm sorry! Oh no! Well, with a 9.
Rough time. A rough time.
Oh god, that sucks! With a 9. He kind of just is like, well, you see, miss, it is on a hair trigger. A slightest little motion, even the one...
Of course. I'm so sorry I even asked. I don't know what I was thinking. It was very improper.
Oh, it's...
Please accept my apologies.
Oh, it's quite all right. It's quite all right. My apologies. I have failed to introduce myself. My name is Ergon, and you would be...
Oh, my name is, Sarah. It's lovely to meet you.
And he kind of just takes like a very deep, somewhat exaggerated like bow from what he's probably been drinking. And says, well, now, Sarah, it is a fine day to make your acquaintance. And might I ask what it is that you are traveling for?
Well, it's been quite a bit of time since I've had the chance to leave my family and really see the world. I traveled quite a bit as a young child, but it's been a while, so I'm going to visit my aunt, actually.
Oh, anyone I would know. My family works in the, I got family that works in the steel making business over there in Tone Tusk, and then a little bit more in Iron Hollow.
Oh, I don't believe so. My family usually works more in jewels and fine items like. It's nothing so brave or exciting as metal work.
Oh, well, that's all fine and dandy. However, y'all can earn your bread as it is to prove yourself to the common folk what they can look up to. Now, I tell you, if you get ever get up to where you if you get back to your family, because see, me and my friends, we're headed to this ball over yonder way, up there on a great rim, being supposed to be held by some one water bearer and another. Don't know how it is down here. To it, he's slowly turning more and more into Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, she's also as he's talking, she's gonna start refilling his glass and hold it out to him. She's just plying him with alcohol. Like anytime he takes a sip, she's gonna top it off for him.
Oh,
very cordially, of course.
Yeah. He's not. He starts going like it's just. Oh, thank you, my dear. See, we're heading up there to this ball up there in the water at some water baron or another's estate to meet with my mother and her sister on my her third sister twice removed on her side. To possibly make additional business, and he starts going on, right? Just about. He starts going on a little bit about business, about his family, about how his sister's doing, who you've never met. You basically get from that he's heading up to a ball. That this train is taking. That this basically train was already being fast tracked from Fort Remembrance to St. Karam through the northern mines, coming out at Broken Tree and then following the curve around to Crymorn to take one of the lifts up to the Great Rim for some sort of big do. He's not really sure what all the fuss is about, but he's kind of aware that this is kind of a thing that topsiders like to do.
Okay. She's just gonna keep pouring wine for him, and like anyone that would pass by would just think that her dream since she was a little kid was just to sit here and listen to this man talk stuff no one cares about. Like, she is just enraptured.
So while you're now, are we actually like paying attention to him, or?
She's listening, absolutely. She's gathering any information she might need because that's part of being
right. I'm making sure.
Conversation partner.
I'm making sure. Yeah. Right. During he drops a couple of I won't make this a roll. He drops a couple interesting nuggets, right? That he does drop a couple interesting nuggets that he does find it strange, right? That normally the company that you are the company that the Modern Train Company is normally who is the one that runs the whole kind of shebang. They normally have their own guards, but for this one, it seems like they went and they outsourced to hired guns to protect the train, which he finds kind of odd in a sort of a sense, saying he always appreciated the very fine emerald green uniforms. He's not sure where the riffraff came from, but maybe they're a little bit useful in a fight. And also he drops the name of the place at which the ball will be held. In fact, he does it several times, and I'm going to tell the Baron Kriegvers is the name of the individual holding the ball. I will put that, so I will just let you. Here you go. Because.
Thanks. Okay, and what was this Dragonborn gentleman's name again? What was the Dragonborn's name?
The very He is a brass dragonborn by the name of Ergon. Which,
Okay.
here you go. Ergon.
Excellent. Okay. And she'll just hang out there with him for a
Right.
while. I think her goal is to try and get him to pass out from all the drink, but she's gonna bide her time.
Right. So, with that, and now you being kind of stuck here until he runs out of things to talk about. Who next? Ron,
Yo.
where would your man be on the train? What's he doing there?
On the top of the train. Taking in the freshest air.
So,
He's not antisocial. He's just
right.
he likes the open air.
Fair enough. So, sitting on top of the train, the sun-baked roof of this train. Go ahead and describe your character for me.
Okay. He is a Kanku, or not a Kanku. Wow, Aarakocra Kanku. Oh my word. He's about 5'6". He has pink-white feathers, kind of like a flamingo. About 145 pounds, so average build. Brightest yellow eyes. He's calm all the time. He just tries to maintain a aura of being calm and in control. He's quiet, doesn't speak unless he's spoken to. Most of the time. And he definitely prefers the outdoors, even when it's blisteringly hot. Of course, being on the roof, you get some wind currents, so.
Yeah. I was going to say, you kind of up on the roof. Are you wearing the cover, or are you just up there?
Wearing the cover.
Okay.
You know,
So,
don't want to burn.
yeah. So, kind of draped in like a cloak or something.
Yeah.
Something kind of loose and flowing. You kind of like sitting you said you look like a flamingo. Does that mean you're like out one leg?
No.
And it's like right.
His plumage is that of a flamingo.
Yeah, okay. So kind of sitting legs crossed on the roof with like the cloak pulled under you so that you're not burning yourself on the steel top. The great looking overhead, the five suns cause this just dazzling display of light to kind of almost dance across the blank as all of their individual colors before they kind of get swallowed up when they get reflected back up are just sort of dazzling their way across the sands, kind of making almost it look like it's if you look at it a certain way, it's almost like the salts are like sparkling, like in various like rainbow shades. There are these great crimson cliffs rising on any one, kind of like rising up on the edges of the salt plains, and at the far end, you can see the distant smoke of Mount Erbor, the kind of the bluish ash-laden smoke rising into the sky in the far distance.
He definitely takes in the beauty of the area.
It is clear blue skies.
It admires
Barely
the
a
different
barely a
colors.
cloud.
Yeah.
there's a... You hear it before you kind of see it. And you kind of hear it before you see it, but there's the sound of boots kind of on the... kind of boots walking across the cargo train where you see the, Galen's wagon where you have been, where that is, kind of been home for a little bit, kind of rocking a little bit with the motion. You see a man, just a human, like a human-looking gentleman, kind of like shortish, sort of like brown hair, glasses, just kind of in like a rough leather, like overcoat uniform, like some sort of like armor under, some sort of like leather padding or armor underneath. Just kind of look up. What are you doing up there? Just shouting a little bit over the train.
Enjoying the fresh air.
Are you? So you're not up to anything? You all right?
I'm fine. What are you doing up here?
Well, a couple of the passengers said they saw a fella sitting on top of the train, and conductor asked me to come take a look into it, and here you are.
Yep. I paid him a fare so I can ride the train. I just choose to ride here. For now.
He kind of just like opens his mouth as if to argue for a moment, and then looks around. You wouldn't mind some company, would you?
No.
Alright, and he starts clambering his way up. He's got like a hood on the back of the coat that he kind of pulls over his head and just kind of takes his seat next to you. It's like awkward silence for a few minutes while the train just kind of rumbles on. You see like the entrance to the mines kind of slowly approaching in the distance. Far, far off in the distance. And just kind of looking at you, just like pulling out like a cigarette. You smoke?
Nope.
Right. Kind of takes a match, strikes it on the palm of his glove, and just. So, why do you want to ride on the roof of the train? This is hot.
Oh, it's not that hot. Just sit. Relax. Breathe slow. Close your eyes. And think of somewhere cool. And let the wind just blow on your skin.
Okay.
And if you get rid of the cigarette, it'll help also.
Alan looks at the cigarette he just lit. Just give me your persuasion.
Persuasion. Let's see. Persuasion. I know it's on here. Hold on.
That's perception. You can very much see that he has a cigarette.
How about that? The one that is actually persuasion.
He kind of looks at it.
It's your choice.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just the one, but I already lit it. Just kind of sits there and he you feel him kind of relax next to you a little bit, just slowly kind of leaning on his kind of reclining, leaning on his elbows a little bit. There's a pause. Hey, listen. Let me ask you a question.
Ask away.
Say a feller ain't got too much money, and he sees a real pretty lady walking by who's one of them there fancy folk. Right, but like you and I, I'm going for hire. I don't make all that much money. Do you think that like someone like that, one of them highfalutin great rim folk, would go for a guy like me?
Not impossible.
Right, but like how likely is it? Because I don't know. She's real pretty, but like I don't know if like me coming up and saying something would be out of pocket.
Well, I do know this. If you build a relationship on a lie, it will eventually tumble down.
Oh, there's no way I could tell her I got any kind of money. I mean, I had to patch this.
Then just be you. Be
Oh,
the
anything
best
but
you
that.
you can be.
Anything but that.
If she don't like the real you, then you don't need her in your life anyway.
Huh. Well, damn, I guess I don't need too many women in my life. Then none of them really like me. Especially all them back home that, don't barely talk to old me. And in the kind of the silence, as he kind of in the silence that follows, as he just kind of enjoys his cigarette. I was gonna ask you to make a perception anyway, so the 17 works. There is, as you're kind of like recentering yourself, as it were, there is a sensation of, for a brief moment, the heat just cessating for just a second, as something passes over you like a shadow. And looking up, you see there are other birds, it would look like, or birds of some description kind of flying in speed with the train. Far, far up in the sky. Pretty big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that you can pick out individual birds from hundreds of feet away. Some big birds.
Pretty big.
Those are some pretty big birds.
Now, do I know that these would be predatory animals, or are they scavenger animals? Or...
From the distance, you can see them. From the distance that you can see them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't really determine a species, right? Like if fine detail is eluding you, it's more like you can see like the silhouettes more than you can see the forms. But that's usually predatory in nature.
My friend, I think it is time to enjoy the inside air. I point up at the birds and say, they may or may not be looking for a meal. We may or may not have to worry about it. But sometimes it's better to just avoid an interaction and not find out.
And like from next to you, there's just That's what my mama said, that I would, one day I would grow up to be a mathematician, but I didn't like numbers. What?
Time to go in.
All right, and he like takes a cigarette, and just pitches it over the side of the. Pitches it over the side and just kind of like hops down from the roof and just slows his walk to kind of wait for you to follow him in, but he doesn't really like stop.
Oh, I'm right on his heels.
Okay. Brings us to Mr. Valik.
Yes, sir.
Where are you on the train? What are you doing, buddy?
Well, I would be going up to the fancy pants dining area to get some food.
Some fancy pants food.
All right.
And for me, you want me to send you what I'm getting, my order, or want me to DoorDash it?
No, you can go ahead and order.
You gonna skip the dishes?
Yeah. You kind of get an idea that.
So I just sorry. So it's 1 and 2. It's 1, yes, to get food, but 2, he goes all the way to the front so that he can just keep an eye on things.
Like all the way to the front of the train?
Yeah, like the frontmost where I can get food.
Right.
So it's not necessarily suspicious, but just going up there to get the meals, and then whoever I can keep track of. You said Penny went past some guards, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't be able to get up there because I'm not going to.
Well, you can enter the dining car. It's guarded at either end.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she went through into another car after that.
No. She's still in like the dining. She's in the dining car at this point with like a lounge area. The lounge area is kind of at the end of it.
Okay. Well, then if I can go in there and order food, I would. I wouldn't make any acknowledgement of her because I don't want to ruin whatever she's doing.
Yeah.
But maybe just a quick, see if everything's in order type of thing.
Yep. So, you begin making your way forward out of the cart, coming down more or less in time to see Quickfeather hopping off the roof with this guard kind of in tow. Just right along with you. Both of you kind of enter at the same time. Next car up is the livestock car, wherein there is a wild Galen spotted. Still giving belly rubs to these two giant chinchillas that have, in one's case, fallen dead asleep on the ground.
Won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
It's okay, man. You don't got to. Don't let no one tell you different.
Okay. If there's anything you'd like to stop and do, let me know. Right.
I'll just tell Galen I'm gonna go get some. I guess it's dinner. I don't know what time of day it is.
It'd probably be lunch at this point.
You go get a big ass lunch.
Okay, for some food, yeah.
And
It's about that time.
just pet the Gigachilla as I walk by.
I mean, it like the other eye goes slightly lazy to watch your hand come in for the pet, and then it's just like, this person back to being half asleep. Continuing on past that point, we get to the dining car proper, wherein immediately you clock Penny, who is kind of half draped over the arm of this very finely dressed dragonborn, who is probably at one point was wearing a very nice duster, very nice like black leather duster with like rhinestone or gemstone studs, and the one like pauldron on the side with like a black hat that's like similarly kind of done up with like a gold filigree band, right? Except that at this point, the very clear, like what at probably one point was probably him trying to be very clear on a point, has started to decay into just, tell you what, son, but that I was barren. I heard about one barren. As you're walking by, just the both of you clock each other. Just as you walk by. But just beyond about where that car would be where the kitchen would be, where one would go and place orders with a maitre d'.
All right.
It's a very well dressed half elf woman, kind of like a black skirt, like white shirt, vest over it, just kind of like standing there, seemingly with a little black leather bound book in hand, but just also just kind of like not really expecting anyone to come up to talk to her in particular, as she's just hello, what can we do for you, sir?
I'm here to order some food to go.
Just kind of like frowns a little bit at the term "to go," but like flicks the book open. And produces like a little pen and just like a little ink pen. You see that this book has like an ink bottle kind of like built into the top of it. And she just, all right, what would you like to order?
So out of character, I realize we're in a train in the middle of a desert. Do we have any kind of seafood?
Is there a menu somewhere with the price list?
Okay, so it.
You guys are monsters. I can't believe you're doing this.
Yes. There actually is seafood. There are mirror fish, which are these. There's a mirror fish fillet with the lemon seasoning and the topside shrimp bake, which they also seem to have on as well. She does apologize that they do not have that they are presently out of the land octopus, as having it imported was a little bit difficult, and it's not really in season for them. There's also Cheddar Bay biscuits.
I knew
course
that
there
was
are.
coming. That was coming.
So we're at Red Lobster.
I mean, I'm a little hungry, so leave me alone.
I have some roast beef. Just come on over.
Yeah, so does that halfling. He's wearing most of it now because he's carrying a penny.
Just because you said you're hungry now, Shane, I'm gonna post this in the chat just for you.
Oh, good.
That's what he's ordering, one of those.
What? I hate you. I hate you so much. You're gonna make me open DoorDash in the middle of me recording this to go fucking order DoorDash.
And you're surprised somehow?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Not in the slightest bit.
And then he wants 2 big ass ribeyes with the bone in.
She takes this all down. And do me a favor, could you describe your character? I'm sorry.
Okay. So my boy, my homie here. He's a rather tall, 6'4". He just looks like a normal human. The most distinguishing thing, or what stands out about him the most, is he's wearing a big cowboy hat, but armor at the same time. And his gear, it looks weathered and old, but taken care of. Except for his hat, it's pretty damn pristine. Salt and pepper hair. It's hard to kind of tell how old he really is. You're not sure if it's of age or just it's a rough life out there. And the other noticeable that the passengers might know is when he walks, it's not like a stomping, but he's got heavy footsteps. And it's like a lot of confidence when he walks. So it's just noticeably just like he walks or he's there with a purpose.
So, with that, as you've entered into this car, the lunch car, in the way it's set up, right, falls a little silent as you enter, as there's just heavy, steady footfalls across this carpeted floor. Just people kind of stopping what they're doing for even just a moment. Kind of the same way when Penny came in, but a very different emotion kind of attached to it. As a couple people start muttering well, today's going to be all sorts of interesting, isn't it?
They have no idea. They haven't seen me yet.
No, they haven't. And just one of them's like, that's nothing. One of them was sitting up on the roof of the storage car earlier. Another one of them just did you see that tiefling fellow tormenting those poor little gigachillers over there in the library? Awful. Just generally the whispers of people that don't know why they're intimidated by your presence, but just kind of stop. And it's only for a little bit, just as you're passing their actual point. Putting the order in, she kind of blinks a few times, just right. And will we be having dessert?
Nah, sweet stuff doesn't sit well with me.
Very well. We will put that on your tab, and you'll pay when the trip is concluded, Mr.
Valid. I can pay right now.
Oh, very good. And, excuse me while I do some quick research here. Says it'll be about 5 gold for everything then.
Put 6 gold for the courtesy tip.
I see. Very well, sir. That'll be out post haste. She turns around, enters the kitchen.
I'm just gonna do that, leaning on the counter, like looking around. If anyone makes eye contact, just kind of do the brim hat tip to them.
You kind of like lean on the counter as you're like leaning there. It's like almost like a window that leads into like, it's almost like a window that she's sitting in, and then there's the kitchen beyond that, and like you can kind of just hear her. She enters the doors of the kitchen flap shut. Like, yes, very good, right on it, sir. Enters through the door before the doors finish flapping. All right, off your asses, everyone. The doors just. You got a moment.
Beautiful.
This is gonna be awkward because he realizes she went back there and yelled at him and didn't ask how he wants the steak, so he's just going to let himself back in the kitchen to make sure they know he wants them. He wants that shit mooing still, both of them.
Oh my god.
I'll just be leaning back on the counter. If anybody looks, looks at me and kind of like looks at him just letting himself back into the kitchen, just look over them. I need to make sure the steak's done right.
So you're following him into the kitchen?
No, I'm just leaning on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
And then just if anyone looks to be like, what the fuck? Why is he going into the back room? Just
Yeah, there's like
out loud explain it.
a couple of servers have this like noticeably like a little bit panicked look, like, "Whoa, shit! You just went back there." Just staring at you, like staring at him, like as the doors flap behind him.
You should never asked how we wanted the steaks.
Oh, right, yes. Just like leaning in. Holy shit! Jessica made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
It's one of them's just like, yeah, I fucking know she made a mistake. Like these two human guys just like having a quick like back to you conversation. You very quickly see him like slap 5 silver to the other one's hands and cross his arms. While you're sitting there, Galen, there is a. You kind of like waiting a minute, looking over. You notice you just feel eyes burning into the back of your head, kind of sensation, and like your eyes kind of like, and you kind of follow the sensation. And there's that same girl that was there with the Gigachillas, just like around the corner. You can kind of catch like a little bit of Penny leaning on like this brass dragonborn. But you can mainly see this like this little human girl just kind of like watching you very shyly from around a corner, just like intensely interested.
And the gold that he just flashed.
I didn't flash anything.
He didn't flash shit.
No. This was the same kid that was petting
Yeah,
the Kikachillas,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Just don't have a hat to tip, so just give a nod and just go back to, I don't know, leaning on the counter and looking out whatever window is within eyesight, trying to not make eye contact with many people.
And she's like, oh, like, you're not sure if that noise is being impressed or slightly scared. You make the call.
He's probably heard both reactions quite often.
And as you head back into the kitchen and just mooing, you know, like,
He is incredibly polite, though.
Yeah,
Like-
but
like,
just
he's not.
you see you go walking back, right? Find Jessica apparently just being like, all right, we're gonna have to do like 2 seafood platters. Make sure those steaks get on there now. And Armand, what are you doing? And she turns around and just sees you and just looks like she about has a fucking heart attack. Just, hi, hello, hi, hello. So is there anything else I can help you with?
I just wanted to make sure we get the temperature right on those. We don't want to ruin them by cooking them too much.
she just has this expression of like blinks a few times. Yes. What? How did you want those done?
Rare. Mooing and bleeding still.
Like, you say this and her like eyes slide over to the hobgoblin chef who's like at the stove, like just beginning to put the steak on, like, yeah, all right. Tying the fucking wild mane of hair back with a bandana. Anything else you want, big man?
No, sir.
All right, get it from here. Bring
I'll
it.
go back out and join my buddy.
While all this is going on, Sakel, you're up with the conductor, having been assigned as the guard to his, to where the two trains that the two cars he occupies. One, the smaller one, he kind of lives in and operates during the night, and then the actual engine, which is the next car up. Now, you're kind of been told just make sure nobody tries to get in at that point. Right?
Alright.
And it's been a pretty dull crossing up to this point, right? Like, the most that's happened is you've had to, like, you and a couple of the guys have been, a couple of guys had to stop a kind of a rowdy, sort of, like, kind of one of the more rowdy Dragonborn guys from, drawing just the gaudiest pistol you've ever seen in your life on somebody. Quick shove, and he kind of just fell over and gave up. It was just like, all right. It's about the most eventful thing that's happened thus far. I'm kind of sitting here on this little grate between the two platforms, somewhat protected from the howling of the wind and all this. You kind of notice there's a small, like, an unusual, like, it's a lot by comparison, but a small trickle of people kind of entering the conductor's office, and you can't hear much about what goes on inside. But after, like, the third, like, person, in particular a pair of very harassed looking humans kind of come in, the conductor himself kind of comes out, and the conductor is this little, like, this conductor is a dwarf of about, this dwarf with this kind of, like, very long beard that's kind of kept tucked into his belt, almost, with this very, like, this green uniform and, like, the cap on, and, like, the mustache ending in these two golden caps, as he kind of comes through, just pokes his head out, just chomping on a cigar, just, "Aye, I need you in here. Now."
Alright. What's the issue?
Right, well, I've been getting, he kind of, like, leads you. This is his, like, his sleeping quarter / office. There's, like, a desk situated in one corner, a bed situated in the other, a spare change of clothes hanging up on a peg, and that's about it. And he looks grumpy about the whole situation. Just, "I'm getting a lot of fucking reports about problems with our other passengers at the other end of the train. One of them's up on the roof. Another one of that damn hornhead over there was supposedly harassing that nice family just come through. Go and sort them out. Yeah,
people have issue with somebody sitting on the roof and not? Fine.
Just look into it. Just look into it. Make sure he's not causing a problem. If you don't, I don't. Just make sure there's no more complaints. Well, I had enough of these people coming buggering me in my damn off hours.
You want I should
Just see what they're
give
doing.
them something to complain about?
No, just see what they're doing.
Alright. And I'll make my way down the cart, or down to the different carts.
Oh, and if you see Quinn, tell him to get back at his fucking post.
I'll let him know.
He closes the door. Heading back through, around the side of the coal cart, around the sleeping quarters, as it were, where there's already the sounds of people, is, you know, I don't know if reading makes a noise, but it's somewhat occupied. Past the frosted glass and down the aisle. You enter into the dining car, and so how would you like to describe your character?
Alright, you guys see an elven man, but instead of normal white eyes with golden irises, the sclera in his eyes are jet black and brings out the actual gold, makes it almost seem like they're glowing. He's 5'11", kind of not too muscular, but more lean and has more of an athletic build. Wearing a sand-colored trench coat with like a darker, almost charcoal shoulder, like leather shoulder like pads, or and strapped over his shoulder is a very well-kept arcane rifle as he's making his way through the car.
And almost immediately, almost as soon as you come in from the big valuable storage container, right? Like that's kind of just in front of the coal car, or just behind it rather. You, against this very ugly, heavy iron backdrop, just kind of come in. It can immediately clock the tiefling kind of standing there at the counter. He's the only tiefling on the train. And immediately clock Valik coming back out of the kitchen. And more importantly, and in addition to that, as the back is kind of as the back is kind of opening up a little bit, you see this cloaked figure sitting at one of the empty tables, having a somewhat one-sided conversation with Quinn's, who is a human man with the human man with glasses, just kind of just has his gun kind of at his side as he's just yeah, well, Mama done told me, back in the day you can't trust no strangers, but you seem all right.
All right, he will first stop at the tiefling. Just kind of, everything all right, sir?
Oh, yeah, just waiting for our food to get made. How about you? You alright?
Yeah, just got some people complaining that you're messing with the gigachillas in the back. Everything all right back there?
Oh, yeah, just Dusty and Milo. Just giving them some good belly rubs. You like that?
Oh, so they're your gigachillas.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Cool. As you were. And
just like, and you catch the pair, the last two people, the two just gruntled humans
Yep.
that were just kind of just like, that are kind of watching a little bit intently, and just with just like this look on their faces of just like, yeah, like just like, just serves it right. Just
and they see him like kind of, pat the tiefling on the shoulder and just, give him a nice little, as you were, and not even, not even yelling at him or anything, not even raising his voice. He just nods and keeps walking.
Yeah, and and before anything else, you just register shock, like quickly disguised shock, but shock. Like,
Yeah.
fully expecting for there to be a bigger problem than there was.
Am I there for this? Or
Yeah, you come out like at about that point.
Oh, I'm gonna walk up to the two and Galen is like, is there a problem here?
Oh no, he's asking about Dusty and Marlowe.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Oh yeah. Getting on in years, but they're still active.
I'll stick a hand out and introduce myself to Valik. To, I guess, the train guard. I don't know who he is.
Which would be the
Sakel.
Man.
You can call me Theo.
Theo. Well, Theo, thank you for keeping us all safe here on this journey. It's not easy.
Well, I've been sitting up with the conductor, and it's boring as all hell.
You could always come back and have some drinks with us if you want.
Gotta stay sober. Just, I have a feeling things might get a little rowdy here in a little bit.
Oh, is the seafood not good?
No, nothing too crazy. But I'll leave you to it. I got a couple other things to take care of.
No, say as you hear they don't have an angle on this, but like I'll say Penny and Sakel do, and so does Quickfeather for that matter. Are Penny and Theo, and also Quickfeather for that matter. You both kind of see like a half-orc gentleman who's got like the long like mutton chops, and like it's kind of like wearing like a very light kind of mantle and like trousers and like a pinstripe vest, is kind of like getting ready to cut into like what looks like a cooked fish, and just kind of like stopping as he hears like, oh, seafood's not good. Kind of like gets up and looks down a little bit, just kind of looks down at his food and just cuts a little more slowly.
I am blissfully unaware.
I know. Excuse me. So, with moving on down the train, first thing Theo spots, unrelated to anything else, is Ergon. The last time you saw Ergon, he was waving around a pistol utterly encrusted in gemstones. Acting like he was acting like he was the next Billy Black, you know what I mean? Like this was the guy. And he's not quite at the point where he was when you had to stop this last time, but he's starting to get there. He is beginning to get there. With a one penny. Roll me a sleight of hand check real quick, Penny.
Okay.
Oh, she's stealing.
Borrowing permanently.
Okay, that's.
I mean,
that's not
Redistributing
illegal.
the wealth.
What is going on tonight?
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. God, that's a 5. With a 5, right?
Had I actually done something by this point now that he's super inebriated?
Yeah, he's gone. Like, this is for something different. But if you're doing something other than what I'm saying, go for it.
She by the time he got like there,
Mm-hmm.
I think she would have tried to cast Charm Person on him again.
Yeah.
See if maybe that is gonna help.
Yeah, go for it. just go for it.
Okay.
And he's gonna need to make that save. I'll say at this point he is effectively poisoned, so this will be with disadvantage. He super fails.
Wait. Oh, he fails?
I don't have. I'm just kind of hard rolling it. Like he doesn't have a sheet. He doesn't have like a sheet. So.
Okay.
So you just kind of give him the how do you cast the charm person?
I think it's just. I mean, it's subtle spell, so she doesn't require anything. I think what she is gonna do though is put a hand on his arm and just I still feel so bad for asking earlier, but it's such a magnificent pistol, and I feel like my father would be tying in his grave if he knew I never at least got the chance to hold it.
Sure, it's as much pistol as you all can handle. Mm-hmm. And he kind of like tugs it out of the belt, and like you see, like his friends have moved off to some other parts of the car, just kind of having at various points excused themselves. One of them, a human man is like early 30s, just kind of, yeah, I'm kind of feeling tired. I'm gonna hit the hay. Just getting up and like walking out. And the other one being a dwarf, a dwarf, kind of blonde hair. Weirdly enough, no beard, but like just these long braided sideburns with like a full like military uniform on. Just kind of like finishes his drink. Well, lass, good luck. And just stands up, walks out. So at this point, they've left you.
Oh my God.
And
Okay.
he just... So like, you see the immediate 3 people around him kind of flinch. Theo sees him pull the gun. And then just, like, put it on the table. There you go. Oh, see, weight is a little bit heavy for most people. He uses a very high caliber.
Oh, of course. Here, why don't I think you've had a bit too much to drink. Why don't I help you to bed? And she's going to put the pistol, like, under her arm, like, just tuck it, like she's gonna, get up and walk, and she's gonna get up and start trying to help him up, and she's going to use another sorcery point, subtle spell, suggestion, and she's going to say, I think that you should go to bed and just forget we had this entire conversation.
Look, do you really want to suggestion this? He's already charmed.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm
so
not.
Yeah, she'll just get up and quote unquote, help him to his
Yeah,
carriage, as in
he's
just like let him fall into it.
he's not. I feel kind of. And his eyes kind of fall on Sakel. Or fall on Theo as he kind of glares him a little bit. It's starting to look a little bit like there's a few too many knife fears in this compartment.
Okay, why don't we get you to bed? I think, I think this has been so lovely, and I would love to have breakfast with you tomorrow. Just come find me, and we can continue our conversation. Okay?
I mean, if you weren't already heading back to your, to your room, I may have had to confiscate that pretty little pistol you carry around with you.
You ain't taking nothing from me. I bought and paid for my own good money. I paid your damn ticket. You can let me.
All right. Does Theo see that she's got the gun?
Yeah, are you trying to be like?
She literally, she like tucked it under her arm and is like has Ergon's arm in her hand and is like making like she's helping him back to his carriage. So it's more like she's making it look like she's helping him carry his stuff and is keeping the gun out of the hands of the drunk man. That's kind of the vibe she's trying to give off.
Yeah, no, it's.
Theo's gonna wink at Penny and goes, "No worries, sir. I have no intention of taking that pistol from you."
Penny's gonna just smile and nod, smile and nod.
And without much ado, you get him back to the room eventually. Because the first thing he does, he goes, I'm in this one. And you open the door. You go to it, it's locked. He's like, no, what? Did I leave? I left on my way out. And then, like, it opens, and there's just, like...
No.
There's just the human guy that walked up from the table, like, yeah, how can I... Oh, shit. Closes the door again. Just, like, just really fast, like, what is that? Oh. Where's the door locked?
Can Penny dump him in the nearest, like, bathroom and just close the door behind him and then walk away?
Easy pleasy.
You find the waste closet pretty quickly. And it is mercifully empty. You just kind of go, okay, set him down. Sweet dream, princess.
Good night.
Door closes on him.
Perfect. And with that, she's gonna disguise self, change the way that she looks and what her clothing looks like. So she's a much plainer looking woman. She looks like she has money, but it's very demure and understated. It's not peacocking like she was before.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna like hide the gun in her waistband so it can't be seen and make her way back to the dining cart.
I know I keep asking you to make rolls more than I am them, but you keep doing stuff that requires rolls. Give me a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Because this is just to hide the gun.
Okay.
All right, that's not terrible. You kind of tuck it in the waistband, whatever you're wearing, and like put a bit of cloth over it, because it dazzles, but it's also like, you can find ways. And there's just a quiet little, at the back of your head, just as you're walking through, just a, well done. Keep walking.
She's gonna, pretend like she didn't notice that and keep going. Keep walking.
And eventually getting back to the car. Well, that's going to take a few minutes in real time. So Kel, or the exact person that was coming up next. Right.
Uh-oh.
Right. So I'm going to say then let's give it just a couple minutes then. I need to get a new soda. So 5-10 minute break.
Yay, more
Sounds good.
alcohol.
Good.
Yeah.
Grab him water.
Right. 5-10 minutes. So, I wasn't going to say anything until I got back to announce this. But I fucked up.
Oh.
I went to go make
Oh,
chili
wow.
dogs with cheese on them. I came back with a plate of shredded cheese.
Oh.
Okay, where did you fuck up?
I didn't make the dogs. I just put shredded cheese on the plate.
Still failing to see how this is fucked up.
You're lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
This is the grandest fuck up.
No.
No, you choose your battles, bro. I'm lactose
Yeah.
intolerant too, and you just gotta decide what's worth it.
Yeah, you just gotta decide, do you want to feel alive today, or do you just want to keep being sad?
That's a future Briar issue. That's why I just ordered a milkshake from 5 Days.
Oh my god.
It's not my problem. It's future Briar's problem.
I guess I'll get up and make the hot dogs in a minute.
Nah.
I am.
Welcome back. All right, we're just waiting on Ron. Things.
Are you, Shane? Can you do something in Roll20 for me?
Oh, what's up?
Are you able to share the other characters with their names so I can see the names of the characters?
You should already have access to them, or at least
I
be
can
able to see
only-
them.
I can only see my own.
Oh. Oh, let me hang on. Yeah, you're right. Nobody else can see anybody else's character.
Just helps when I
Yeah.
can't remember somebody's name.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let me fix that for you. This will, I mean, I presume you all know this, but this should only show up in, everybody else's journal. Which is only the name should show up for you.
Yep. So far.
There's Theo. Yeah, I thought I did this earlier. My apologies. And then Mr. Galen.
That's what they call me.
So everyone should see everybody else's character sheet. Or at least name in the journal.
I don't like that Ron's character has human nipples.
Things for the outtakes. What?
Could his character?
Oh! Yeah, it does.
Wait, oh my god. Yeah, those are human nipples. That's
Those are
That's a
some
man in a bird
really
costume.
messed up looking human nipples too. They look like they were stitched on.
This is
They're
probably
pimples.
This is probably... You know what's funny is that I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut the break out when I do the editing. But, like... it's not ChatGPT. This isn't like an AI generated art either.
Looks pretty AI generated to me.
I don't know. That looks...
90% of what you find on the internet now, you gotta sift through because it's all fucking AI art now.
It's definitely AI generated. Look at his right arm with that gold band. That makes no sense. The way that the fabric and the arm, like, is too small on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh,
The arm's like 75% of the width at the below the band.
And if you look at the belts across the chest, they like don't connect all the way. Like top one stops into that pink feather. The other one connects to nothing. Definitely AI.
If we saw his hands, he'd have a sixth finger.
7.
They actually, some of them actually do hands.
Some of them, sometimes.
So let's say, Ron,
But they still sometimes have like a fingernail that goes a third of the way up the finger.
How long have you been here, buddy?
Oh, for a while.
Oh, okay.
Since about immediately after we went on break.
Pretty much.
Oh, fucking Christ. Okay.
Sorry. I've been disruptive this evening. My apologies for that.
How dare you have things to do
Well,
that aren't sit around and play video games?
my wife is out making a very long drive. She was taking our daughter to her camp job, so she was on the road for about 5 hours. So she got home, I had to, attend. It's what I like to do.
You're a good man.
It's how we've made it past 30 years, man.
Fair enough.
Did anybody see that in the new Deadpool image?
Yeah, with him and Wolverine walking down the street.
And Wolverine's in the yellow spandex.
Mm-hmm.
Delightful.
Love it.
Delightful.
It's what we deserve.
I mean, I initially wasn't going to say this because they're basically telling Ryan Reynolds he can't quip.
Dumb.
Which is stupid.
I mean, wait.
He's
the producer.
They were because of the writer's strike, they were telling him he couldn't. I don't know how that has anything to do with it.
Because if he's part of the Writers Guild, he is by improving, he's technically writing on set. So it's picket lines crossing. We're dealing with this at work right now, where like everyone's freaking out because we have a bunch of movies coming out in the third and fourth quarter, and like everyone, like now the Actors Guild is gonna strike, and we're like, bro, what are you gonna do? It's not good.
Yeah,
A lot of thumb twiddling. That's about it. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's understandable, but terrifying.
Oh, I hope they get everything that they're asking for. Like, they deserve it. But also, like, as a tiny number in the machine of Amazon, I'm like, bruh, it doesn't take a whole lot for them to fucking fire 14,000 people like they did earlier this year. I like to have a job.
Having a job is a good thing. I've noticed it's a plus in my life.
Generally, I think the housing is really the important part of having a job.
Yeah, roofing, yeah, it's really important.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so we're back, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, coming back in. Theo being sent to the back of the train to go investigate some complaints about some strange characters. There is, for the most part, they've been resolved, except for the information you've been given about a man sitting on the roof of the train. And, well, you don't immediately see that man because you're inside of the train. You do see one of the other things, which is where the hell is Quinn's? Quinn's, one of your, in this instance, co-workers, is just sort of chilling at a table, engaged in conversation with a fellow in a very, it's probably not how you say this, but voluminous cloak. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce that.
Voluminous.
Voluminous, thank you.
Voluminous.
I know how to speak words. I want to be a writer when I grow up. Hee hee. Just kind of sitting at one of the less occupied sections of the car, and noticeably now absent because he is the weirdest thing there, but quite frankly, and like you can kind of hear Quinn's be like, so like, I remember when I was a kid, my mama always said that like I should follow my dreams, and like I thought I wanted to do math stuff first, right? But I ain't got much ahead for numbers. So like, how is it that you go about doing what you do, not worried about numbers?
Numbers take care of themselves.
Like, but how you pay bills and for food?
I don't have any bills, and I always have some way to provide that I will be able to eat, have a roof over my head when I need it.
Well, yeah, I guess you could go out hunt or something, but like...
Yep.
But like, what if you don't catch nothing?
Well, then I go hungry, and it's okay. I will tell you a truth about numbers. They never lie. When you're broke, you're broke.
He's just... and he looks like he's about to argue, and he goes, well, shit.
Alright, break's over, Quince.
Oh, hi. I wasn't taking a break. I was just watching the car from the center of it.
Thank you for making sure I didn't fall to my doom off of the roof of the train car.
Oh, so you took care of that. Good shit, Quince.
Yeah, I did that all on my own. He gives a salute.
I'm not a soldier anymore, Quince. You don't have to fucking salute me.
Yeah, well, it's what I do. Sorry.
And I sure as hell wasn't an officer. I worked for a goddamn living.
I mean, amen, but I don't know. You seem too nice to be on this train.
You just haven't had a chance to see my more grumpy side.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine it involves a gun in somebody's face.
Well, just haven't had the opportunity yet. Give it a little.
I mean, you almost did that one. You almost did the one scaled feller earlier. Yesterday night, or the night before.
Well, when he's frickin' breezing through the damn cabin with a loaded gun.
Well, yeah, he's sweeping the cabin with a loaded gun. He's an idiot, and I thought you was gonna pop him then. Oh, I apologize. This is I didn't get your fucking name either. What's looks at your character on just what was your name? I'm sorry.
Quick.
This is Quick. I think he's one of them, them them tribesmen from the south, because he said he's got some real funny ideas, and some of them make a little bit more sense than I was expecting them to. Seems like a nice feller, and I saw him up there on the roof, and he's minding his own business. Said there's some big birds coming down to maybe... Said there might be some big birds coming down to eat the animals on the train, something like that. Prey animals.
Eat the folks on top of the train. They would be much easier. You know, you and I.
Which would have been us, which is why we come in.
Well, better, safer in here than up there being meals, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I would advise, though, if you ever get the chance, do write it from there sometime. It's quite enlightening.
I may take you up on that. You two enjoy your time, but Quince, get back to work.
Are we back? Are we back to the boss thing? Or are we back to official? Okay. And he gets up and.
Quince, it has been a pleasure.
Hey.
Remember what I talked to you about on the roof.
Yeah. Look at.
It will help you.
I'll try to remember that. He goes back to his station, where you see his companion that normally guards that end of the train, just like as he's walking up, just smack him in the shoulder, just like glare at him a little bit before they kind of resume their positions. Like, what? I was doing my job. I was just making sure he can go back up there.
And I think that was pretty much everything I needed to do, so I will head back to the conductor's cabin.
I'll look around and see if I recognize anybody in the car.
I would say... Yeah, you could definitely, at this point, pick out Penny as she's coming back. I'd say the first portion of what has been prepared for Valik and I presume Galen. I don't know if Valik's eaten 2 orders of fucking seafood by himself.
No, I
Can't
ordered.
afford it on his own.
No, I ordered 2 steaks and one of the seafood salad things.
Oh, okay. So the first round of things are being brought out, right, and brought to a. I would say that a very disquieted Jessica comes out pushing a trolley. It's just like, and where did you want this, sir? You said you wanted it to go?
Thinking it.
I'm quite sure I heard you wrong, but you said in the livestock car.
I mean, I was pretty clear. I can carry it. It's fine.
No. It's quite all right. She kind of drifts back out of the fake accent. She's like, quite, and just starts pushing it. Just a face of just bewilderment.
We got to make a pit stop on the way. By the way.
Do we?
Is Quick up there with us, or
he's in the car.
I'll just I'm gonna yell out to Quick that lunch is ready.
Huh. Well, thank you, and he'll walk on over.
And then in the lowest tier cart before we get back, I need to buy a 12-pack of Blue Ribbon.
So you turn
Get
to
some cheap light beer.
So you turn to her, and just like toss like, oh, by the by, because like the next cart like after this is like a security checkpoint basically, where the two guys at the back would like rest during the night or rest in shifts, and then it's right there with the livestock cart. So like just turn.
Is the livestock cart and where the wagon is two separate carts?
Yes.
Are we eating with the Gigachillos, or are we just going to eat in the wagon?
Wherever you prefer.
There's a small fold-out dining table in the wagon, so.
Just 4 people eating at a very cramped dining room table.
I'll offer. Was it Jessica if she wants to hang out for a minute and have a beer?
Oh my god.
The wagon's quite cozy. Got it's nice. Got a new paint job recently. We've got some nice drapery in there.
She...
Ain't much, but it's home.
It ain't much, but it's honest work. Roll me a persuasion. Yeah, just roll me a persuasion. See what happens.
Full new head advantage, huh?
Oh no. Oh no. Hello?
Hello.
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 Okay, so I think Roll20 may have shit itself just a little bit.
As it is wont to do.
So, one moment while with the magic of editing, I fix it. Yeah.
Flashback sequence.
I did want to make one quick note. Penny would have cast disguise herself, so she looks like a completely different person by the time she walked on.
No, I know. Like,
Okay.
by the time you've come back in, like, nobody is the wiser. Like,
Okay, cool.
but give me a second,
Hello.
because I am. I guess this. Because this is again. I'm gonna cut some of this stuff out, but. Alright, let me rearrange the icons. Oh, Ron, you get back over there. Okay. Okay, oh, that's a 7. Oh, okay. Hold on. And we're back. And with a 7 persuasion, Jessica the half-elf just kind of... I unfortunately, sir, I am on duty, so I cannot. However, you enjoy, and I don't... A 12-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon knock like... I don't know, knock like 2 silver off of your sheet.
That's expensive.
Okay, you know what?
It's not
Travel
expensive.
surcharge.
We're poor. This is stadium pricing, huh?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yes.
We can't leave. What other option do we have?
You are a captive audience.
Mm-hmm. She will well, sir, unfortunately, we can bring you a pitcher if you are so inclined. We don't necessarily have cans, but we will bring back several pitchers. Several pitchers.
Don't have to worry about glasses or anything like that. Got those in the wagon.
Oh, good. Then,
We're using glasses this time.
I just made them. Might as well use them. They're a bit wobbly looking, but they held together.
Say, so Kel maybe lingering a little, or Theo rather. Theo, you're lingering a little bit. It's your call. It's your call whether or not to call this done or not.
He's just gonna be chill. He's gonna be kind of relaxing near the door, making sure nobody's heading back towards the conductor's cabin.
Yeah.
Basically, he's not gonna let anybody go complain to the conductor anymore. He's just blocking the door.
Oh boy. Well, as they're all starting to head back, letting somebody kind of come back in from the see blocking the door, like, so you're standing at the door to the conductor's, right?
Yeah.
His office. So you kind of pass a more, you pass like another young woman in the hallway kind of coming through. What's your passive?
13.
Okay. You just pass a young woman in the hallway going down the hallway there. Kind of going past, kind of hear, I do declare I love redheads, from one of the bathrooms as you kind of go past.
You know what? That rich fucking sleeping off.
And when Valik has his
There you are.
a sudden thought process and an urge to complain about things, you take up your position at the conductor's office, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily, like, right at his office, but, like, before the point where people should be able to get, to him. Right? Like, at the end of, the second, like, the second, basically the storage car at the entrance to that, because beyond that it's like another storage car, coal car, his office, train or engine. And you gotta post up there, right? You're there for about 10-20 minutes. Time starts to, after the 20 minute mark, time starts to just slow to a crawl. Before long, you hear the unwanted little pitter-patter of aristocratic feet upon the wood of the storage car, as people are admitted in, because the storage car is like the public access where people would put their luggage, their bulkier personal belongings, kind of in.
Personal servant.
Well, the personal servants tend to kind of be in the servants' quarters, which are just past this. And those people, those people kind of come and go to get their things. You already noticed, like, one of the other security officers on the train just kind of wordlessly, like, see somebody coming, open the door, and, like, let them in. Resume his position. And the first thing he does is he makes a beeline for the door to the conductors. Or to the storage.
Nah, that conductor doesn't want to be disturbed. Turn your ass around, head back.
I'm sorry, I paid good money for this ticket on this train, and I've had a bunch of hoodlums in the main eating car making a ruckus the whole time. I mean to have a speak with the man about the incident.
Well, right now you're causing a racket outside of his office, and you know what? I'm gonna have to complain to him about the noise that you're making.
My word, don't you people... Don't, insulted by the common soldiery. Like, seems to take that in stride.
What's this, you people, sir?
Says,
Is there something you want to say to me?
I'm just saying that back in my day, the common soldiery knew how to regard their betters. They just harumph and like, good day, sir, and turns around and makes his way back up to the, makes his way back up. About 5 minutes go past. About 5 minutes go past. Another one. A little more polite. And a little bit more polite about it. Takes the answer. Takes her answer, though. Heads back. And now for the next, like, hour. Every, like, 10 minutes. Somebody will say something about how that strange fellow in the cloak upset my kid. Or some ridiculous nonsense. And it is ridiculous nonsense, like, by your reckoning, right? Like, just people just, like, that aren't used to being that close to peasantry, that aren't working for them. It's like that.
Don't like different people here.
They really don't like folk that don't look like they're swimming. You know.
Why would I be swimming? We're on the land.
Thank you, I didn't want to say it.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's like this for about the next hour. There is of note, and that's just how it is, right? At one point, there is standing out from these kind of, because it becomes kind of the humdrum of just being like, no, fuck off. No, fuck off. I don't care. Go away. You know what I mean? Just like, you notice at some point, there is somebody that tries to just walk through, and full kind of military, and like full, like, he looks like one of the guards on the thing, kind of coming in, face sort of covered and face sort of like covered up, goggles on, cap, overcoat with the high collar, just kind of coming in, rifle strung across his back, and just kind of, pardon me.
What do you need, friend?
Oh, just heading up. I'm your relief.
My relief ain't supposed to be rolling through for another hour. What the hell's this?
Captain's orders, or conductor's orders. Come on through. Said he wants you to keep a closer eye with them folks at the back of the train.
You mean the harmless folk that are taking care of their own?
Well, it's either that or we all gotta listen to them, bitch.
Fine. Fuck this job anyway.
Yeah, you're getting paid for it. Besides, they seem nice enough. Maybe you have somebody to talk to for a little bit.
Alright, well, you can deal with these fuckers. You know, I hate rich people. All the same.
Sure as the day is long and the night is cold, so do I, but... Well, one day they'll get what's coming to them. Death comes for everybody. Till then, we just gotta deal with them.
I miss the fucking lone missions I used to go on. Fuck this place. Alright.
Get yourself something to eat and head on back. I got it.
I will make my way back.
and Roll20 is committing suicide again. But that's okay.
Don't get demonetized.
Oh no. Making your way back, you vaguely recall that they were inside of a wagon, and we haven't described the wagon yet.
All right. So, picture, if you will, what hippies on an acreage in a commune would live in. One of those big old wagons, you know, little two-step staircase that folds out in the back to go in. It's like a medieval, I guess, Giga-Chilodron RV, essentially. But just painted with beautiful designs and whatever our little quick feather friend would have painted on there, and then whatever kind of drapery and curtains that Penelope would have wanted on there. It looks like it may have at one point been just a very plain, like, it's wood, it's got linen, you know, just to cover the windows. But now it looks homey and does not fit Galen's very plain aesthetic.
Which my next question would be for Penny.
Yes, sir.
Where are you at this point? Because you've already made off with it.
Oh yeah. She would have, after dropping off the guy, she would have headed back to the dining cabin and ordered some food for herself. And after she got that, she would have made her way back to the carriage, seeing that no one else was in here. She would have assumed everyone probably headed back there. So that's where she'd either be at or making her way back to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, it's been an hour or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, eventually,
In time.
you all kind of reconvene at the cabin, or at the
Cabin works.
at the
It's
the
a cabin
wagon.
on wheels.
Yeah, fair enough. At the wagon, the inside of it, again, Galen, I think it basically described it as like,
Imagine the inside of an RV or a tiny home.
there's like room.
It's a tiny home.
Yeah, there's room. There's like bunks, right? But like,
Yeah.
there's bunks. There's
Everything
bunks that
folds
have.
out.
Yeah.
Like there's cabinetry. Oh, one side of it does look like part of the wall kind of can be folded up, so that one side of it can become basically like a food truck stall type of deal, but with
Right.
blacksmithing and glass blowing.
Right. And there's like a mini forge like built into it. I think we were.
Yeah.
Like-
I would have had like my smith's tools, my glass blowing tools.
Yeah, everything's in here. And the four of you just having a grand old lunch. It's-
A little fold-out card table
Yeah.
built into the wall.
I'd say you guys are about halfway into it. When the door opens again and well, Penny, have you used this particular look before that they would know it or no?
I think once she got, I think it's definitely like she walks into the wagon and like a 1950s husband taking off his hat when he walks through the door after a long day at work. She rids herself of her disguise and looks as they would know her.
Hey, welcome back. Sharing
Oh,
a
hey there,
salad and
guys.
a couple of steaks.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Do you mind if I sit down and enjoy my food with you guys?
Please do.
Some creator ran the table
also-
built for two.
I got, something kind of exciting I wanted to share with you guys, and she's gonna whip the gun out and set it on the table.
And she puts out this beautiful right? Example of a weapon. It's just a 6-shot revolver. Intricate, delicate, like filigree done along the length of it with like gemstone studded into the handle and little. I think they're like they look like diamonds, kind of like studded into the barrel and like shine to like a mirror finish, even in this like little bit of light. Like the vague sort of like ambient glow, right, from between the curtains just causes it to just sparkle in the light. It is a
I don't
beautiful
think I did too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Quite beautiful.
I think it'll fetch a real good price for us. So, and she'll pick it up and she's gonna, I'm assuming that thing's been here long enough, she probably would have had a safe installed into the wagon.
Sure.
And she will, and it's definitely hidden somewhere. It's like you gotta like lift the mattress up and then move like a board, and then there's a safe with like a code required.
There's probably
That's
one of the benches on the side, or in some of the cabinetry. There's a false bottom, and in there,
yeah,
Wait.
definitely something like that.
When she mentions that she could fetch a high price, I want to touch it and just make it just shine.
It looks like you've just mounted a disco ball on the table. Like, it's just lights everywhere.
Oh. Now that's a little bit too bright.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna tuck it away, keep it safe until we get to the town where we can offload it. But I do think I did see a couple more people with some nice jewels and things like that, so I'd be able to, relieve them of some of their weight before we get where we're going.
I don't ask. I don't
What
know.
is ownership anyway? Can someone own the air?
I think
I think
technically.
that's, I don't think they can. I think that's a great point, though. I agree with you 100%. Ownership is just whoever happens to have the thing at the moment, right?
That is correct. Ownership is temporary.
But diamonds are forever.
Those are also technically
Would that
temporary.
not depend on the spell?
Ah. Diamonds are not forever. They are consumed upon casting.
Penny's gonna politely decline the wonderful glass of beer she was offered because she likes to have her wits about her, just in case. You never know.
Roll 20 keeps.
Oh, it's
Whatever.
basically water anyway.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
not.
Is
It's
that
not
bad?
good. It's those of you who are drinking it. It's piss water. This is
I could go back up to the other carriage and swap a glass of wine or a bottle of wine if you guys would prefer.
Oh no, this is like home.
Yeah, I'm not quite that fancy.
Okay.
and
I can't even
Quick
get
mixes
this
it with water. Anyway.
We could have got like something nice to drink, but this is more my speed.
Plus, it fits
I
a
mean,
little.
that's fair.
The glasses I made. I can't quite do wine glasses. The small stems tend to snap in my hands.
Well, you could do stemless wine glasses.
I think these are just cups. That's what I've got. That's kind of what I've already got.
That's fair. I didn't quite think about it that way, but I really do think it's all about the branding, Galen. If you really just sat down and targeted part of the consumer groups, I'm sure you could find many people who would love to buy your stemless wine glasses or cups, depending on how you would prefer to sell them.
I suppose they're all, uniquely shaped. Not really all that uniform. I think it gives them a bit of character.
There you go. And, people love, limited edition, like small batch numbers. So you told them, there's only 3 other cups that remain in this batch, and you could be the owner of all 3 of them for the small price of 500 gold. I'm sure you could find someone
There's no
who
way I
would
could charge
take you
500
up on
gold
that.
for just a glass. This is,
Not
like,
if it was 3.
it's probably maybe like 2 copper worth of material here. Charge 500 gold.
Yeah, but
That's highway robbery.
how long have you been glass blowing?
Oh, phew, couple months maybe. I started trying it out.
Okay,
I just threw some sand in the forge and thought, hey, this might work.
well,
Got
and
myself a
it's
couple of them
working,
metal
and
straws. It's all right, yeah.
why don't next time we find a nice town to settle down in for a minute, why don't I help you try to work on your pitch? Because I really think you could, have something good here, but I really think the salesmanship is where you're struggling a little bit.
I mean, I think, after the wall-mounted coat hook didn't really take off, all they did was they had a little bit of a twirl on the end of it. They were selling like hotcakes. I didn't understand. Basically the same thing. Mine just doesn't have all the little bit of flaky bits.
So it's just targeting your customer, and I think that I'm real good with people, like I think that I could probably help you do that if you'd let me. Of course, I don't want to intrude or be rude or anything, but I think that it's high time that you let me help out a little bit with your business, since you've been so kind and gracious to help me out with mine.
Yeah, I'm open to the idea. I'm just not going to add any, silly twists and twirls that don't do nothing on
Oh, never.
anything I'm making.
No,
So,
absolutely not.
as long as the
Why would
clientele
you do that?
understands the
You don't
form
need
of
to
a
do that.
function of a form.
Galen, I think
100%.
you might be able to have some success up in that dining cart. Everyone seemed to have their attention on you. You were a pretty big hit there. Obviously being sassy.
It is. Go somewhere, you make people uncomfortable. Call there to win.
Sometimes the simplest things can make people uncomfortable.
I know nobody took a swing at me, so I'd say this day's been successful so far.
Galen, that's really sad, and I'm sorry that that's your reality.
It's all
I think
right.
you're just well. I'm so sorry that you seem to be so used to people just wanting to hit you.
You're telling me
They don't
you
always.
wouldn't want to jump into a tavern brawl.
Oh, they're all right once in a while. Don't go seeking them out though.
What if it's a bunch of stuck-up noble people? Don't know what they're doing.
I mean, still, once somebody breaks a beer bottle, you stab my palm. Well, there we go. I'm out of work for a week.
Never initiate violence. I agree. But never let anyone abuse you.
That is very for the moment.
Words of wisdom.
So, Kel, Theo, passing back through the cabin, back through all the cars, past all of the disapproving glares of the wealthy folk that bought their tickets for the train. Past Quinn's, who is just I didn't do nothing. I didn't. I don't know what their problem is.
Forget it.
All right. Well, I'll be back there in a little bit, relieve you. And kind of returs his attention. Interestingly enough, going back through the Gigachilla car, or not necessarily the Gigachilla car, just the livestock car. You kind of go back through and you see there's just a very tiny pair of human legs in one of the stalls in the end, sticking out, and then just I didn't know they really like this. It's just a very tiny child's voice, just coming from the inside of it. Kind of looking over the tops of the stall, there is, and you've seen her a few times at this point, a very small human child who is doing her best to give belly rubs to the fattest but also most muscular Gigachilla you've ever seen in your life. That's just an old fat Gigachilla is just on its back, and she's just Mommy says these are supposed to be really dirty. I don't get it. They're still soft. Just not paying any attention to you. Gone.
Yeah, just gonna kind of chuckle to myself and walk past.
Huh?
Just
What?
kinda-
Just as you go past, she's becomes aware someone's there, but by that point you're already through the door. And then back out into the open storage car, wherein it is a metal floor with at a junction of every 4 metal tiles. As you're speeding through, there is a rusted eye hook in the ground with a chain that's lashing down a little. Excuse me. Lashing down a little pile of crates that have the tarp that's kind of flapping in with the motion. There's a bunch of what look like church pews that have been kind of haphazardly stacked together and then lashed down to the ground with these rusted old chains that are kind of, they're just kind of out here for that kind of purpose. And most notably, at the back, there is a large wagon covered in the kind of the crazy whatever kind of pattern that Quick Feather's painted on it with the little with just this nice little curtains in it. And as you walk up, from the slit between the curtains, there's just a brief just shine of multicolors just flashing through the slit in the window. And then you hear the familiar sounds through it of people kind of just talking. Couple the voices of the people you've already spoken to.
And he'll mutter to himself, just as long as they stay inside, I don't have to deal with it.
And out here, in this whipping, because the train isn't going super fast, but it is going at a speed you probably don't want to fall off. And so you're it's kind of the wind's just pushing you in your face. You're kind of just sitting there shoulders up against the wind, leaning on one of the rails maybe, or just sitting on a box or something. The rest of you, Lunch passes. Food is eaten. Beer is had. Beer is refused. Purloined goods are put away. Time begins to pass. Who's the first to rise?
Were we
I
sleeping?
think
Meaning not sleeping, but like to get up from the table.
Mm-hmm.
I think Penny might go use the little girl's room.
Right.
She's been drinking. She wasn't actually drinking. She mostly had water when she was hanging out with
Right.
Gergon, but
Mhm.
she was sitting there for quite a while. So
Yeah.
she's like, okay, I need to.
And like, you go outside, or before you go outside, rather, you could just immediately like look out the window. There's that one guard from earlier just out there, like just sitting on one of the crates or the benches
Okay.
on a crate with a rifle in his lap.
Okay. Okay. Uh, well, Penny, who now looks like herself, which I don't think I described before. So Penny, she's the same height. She's a little bit taller than average.
Mhm.
She has hair that is just extremely red. It's like fire and kind of curly. It's pretty long, but she typically wears it pulled back and kind of like a loose braid a lot of the time. She has very light blue eyes and freckles, and she does have very good posture. She carries herself with confidence, and also like an air of easygoing. Like she's kind of laid back. She seems like she's friendly and generally nice to be around. But um, behind that, almost flaccid, kind of, I don't want to say kind of dumb girl vibe that she kind of gives off. There's like a sharpness to her eyes. Like she's smarter than she lets on, um, purposefully. And she wears her clothes are nice-ish, but they're much more practical than like a full gown with, underskirts and all of that. It's much more of like a blouse with like a nice skirt. And she wears a shawl very often. The shawl is more so there because it kind of covers up. She can wear it around her waist to cover up the gun she has tucked into her belt. And she's going to, I think, adjust her shawl so the gun in her belt isn't easily visible, and then plaster, the peachiest, sweetest smile on her pretty face and step out of the wagon. Oh, I didn't know that we had a guest. Are you waiting on something? Is there something I can help you with?
Nah, just a bunch of the rich folk are bitching and complaining about you guys back here, so they sent me back to quote unquote keep an eye on you, but I could give two shits.
Oh goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that they're bossing you around and giving you a hard time like that. That's not very fair to the people who are keeping us safe.
Eh, yeah, I think they were more pissed off at the fact that I kept turning them away from, bothering the conductor, so they went to my captain and, had me moved.
Of course they did. That sounds perfectly in character for people like that. Well, I'm sorry again, but do you mind if I scooch past you? I need to run to the little lady's room.
Have at it. I mean, don't want you popping a squat here in the middle of the damn hold and, making a
Okay,
mess.
I'm gonna yep, I'm gonna go. Great to meet you. He's gonna leave.
It's not far to like the ladies' room. There's like one at either end of both of the dining car and the guest car. It's not hard to
Okay.
yeah.
Charisma is 6, folks.
Yep, I could tell.
And I'd
On her way back or there, she's also gonna like just lean an ear against the bathroom that she dumped the guy in to just curiously see if he's still sleeping there or not. Okay, good. That works for her.
Also, I'd say Valik about the same time is leaving with like dishes and or empty pitchers.
Okay.
So, something else to mention. You come back, keep going, no problems. You come back through the dining car, or like kind of look into the dining car rather. It is much emptier than it was the last time you were in. Like, significantly emptier. Like maybe it's because lunch is over, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But even the people still in here are just kind of like either dozing in like the chairs by the window or just like reading very casually in the kind of the lounge
Okay.
area.
Interesting. Is that so? How long have we been on the train for? Is this
Let's
like
say
our
you've been
first
on it.
day on it?
You would have been on the train. Let's see. Everyone at home can watch me futz around and figure this out. Probably coming from St. Caron. Going directly from St. Probably. This is probably like your first day of the trip.
Okay.
You know, you know,
Okay.
like I said, the plan is to go from, and I guess it doesn't matter, but the plan is for you, because you can see it, but basically the plan is to go like through the old mines and then back around like this. That's the path
Okay.
plan for the train.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
They don't plan on starting off with the engines going real hot until they come out of the mines. As it's been explained to you, kind of like when you first got on, is kind of like a safety thing. Like, we're going to go pretty slow at the beginning, and then once we get into the mines or through them, you know, we don't want to go at like, 100 miles an hour because the train derails when it's in the mines. There's only one thing you can hit.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But come back, no problems. Just the one the one guy who's just kind of like, hello, miss.
Hi.
Hello. Might I say you look very nice today.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Real nice.
I have a question for you. It's real empty out there in the dining car. Is that really typical? This is my first time on a train, so I don't really know the comings and goings of folk, but
well, bunch, and after that, after them there other folk come through, a bunch of them went up to complain, and then when went up to complain to the conductor, and I suppose that the conductor either dealt with it or turned them away, but they just kind of went and retired to their rooms, I suppose. Normally there's a couple of the older folks in here reading or playing chess or knuckle bones or something. Suppose it's been a bit of a day for all them so tired. For all them who were used to their money doing their speaking for them. I do suppose.
Right. Yeah. And another question, I've always wanted to ride on a train, and I heard that the guards actually usually wear a uniform, but I noticed that I haven't seen any uniformed people besides the wait staff today. Is there something special about this train, or if I told something wrong?
I,
I don't want to get you in trouble if it's something you can't share, of course, but I just thought a handsome man like you look real smart.
roll the
as well, might
persuasion.
have some information.
Roll the persuasion with advantage.
Come on.
Yay.
Yeah, with the advantage.
Get it.
I don't know how to do advantage on this, so I'm just gonna roll twice.
Yeah, roll twice. There should be a check marker on your sheet somewhere. Hey, it's a 19.
I'll take a 19.
With a 19, he kind of don't. All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
She's twirling her hair around a finger.
He's like
making doe eyes.
You can see like the brain short circuiting as you're looking at him. You're like, yeah. You're like, yep. And here come the beans, and here they get spilled. And he's like, well. He kind of like takes you aside a little bit. He's like, well, I'm not supposed to talk about it, but see, this is a Modern train, right? It's a company that, there's about 2 others that handle all the other big, most of the other trains, keep them out of the hands of the Asmondi. But they're all CUS, right? They've all got their own, private, not private, but like CUS ordained military force that they use to normally supply these trains. But this one was made was real last minute. Was made real last minute, and they want in the real last minute, and they couldn't pull anyone for it. CUS kind of pulled support for this one. So the conductor was apparently given a stipend by somebody else to run the train up, and then to hire a small mercenary force, which would be myself, my other associates, and my captain, and of course Mr. Theo, who don't quite see him at the moment, but yeah, about 10 people all in all. And the thing about all that is normally when we do these things, there's an engineer's car, and that's at the back where we got them folk in the wagon, and that's behind that. And then we've got another security checkpoint just over there. We've got the dining car right here, the livestock car, and then there's the two passenger wagons. But they put 2 people on every wagon, which is weird because I mean, look, I've been shooting for my braid for for a good while now. That normally means they're expecting trouble. But the CUS mines, they ain't. There ain't nothing worth the old CUS iron mines ain't worth nothing. There's nothing in them that need to be worried about. As far as I'm aware, I've been run through them before. Just some bats, maybe. So it's just real funny to me. And then there's that whole thing, right? He starts leaning on like a countertop, like actually like. And then there's that whole thing, right? We got the storage containers, right, for everybody's luggage and the whatnot that come through. But then there's that big old iron one up behind the coal wagon.
An iron one? What would they be putting in there? That just seems awful heavy.
Well, back in when I was working, I remember when I was working a job over by Strixford, right, up over in that way. We had another train go from kind of similar route, go from there through Hamvon's Rest over by St. Gulligan where we were dropping off a similar box. Now, that box, when we were transporting it, now I didn't ask, they didn't tell me. Now, Strix, that was a Strixford deal. They ain't CUS. They told us, don't you go poke around that box. Sure enough, someone did, and he got fried half to death on it.
Did he tell you what it was?
I remember them unpacking it. I remember watching them, unpacking it, and I got one of them in St. Gulligan to talk, and it was it was all sorts of things. It was mostly weaponry, mostly real nasty stuff. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of anyway. Now, I don't know if it's the same sort of thing, but whatever's in there is valuable. Real valuable.
Well, I am just so grateful they put someone like you who is just so smart and strong here to protect all of us little folk. I really, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you're protecting us. So thank you so much. I'm gonna, me and my woman body, I'm feeling kind of faint, so I'm gonna go lie down for a bit because this has been so much excitement for me. But thank you so much. And she's gonna just turn and walk away.
Yeah, you go and do whatever you go and do whatever you. Let's do lunch sometime.
Bye.
Okay. Okay, never before have I felt so bad for a fucking NPC that I've been doing. Just fuck.
She got what she needed, bro. In and out.
Yeah, and you go heading back, Valik. Hey. Valik heads out, sees Theo sitting there, rifle on his lap. It's I don't know when that happens. I'd say probably not too shortly thereafter. Penny leaves.
Most of us play role-playing games to escape the realities of our life. Shane, you're a brave man.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
I know, I'm over here God, feel bad for this man. Nick, if you're talking, by the way, I can't hear you. I don't know.
No, I was heading back up to take the dishes back.
Yeah, I'm making sure. And take note, everything goes back to normal. Penny eventually comes back to the wagon. Quickly enough.
Okay, guys. So I found some information. Very interesting. Could possibly maybe change our luck a little bit for a while. So apparently the giant iron box that is, in with all the other stored cargo has something valuable in it. And they stationed extra people on this train to look after it. And it seems to be pretty urgent that they're trying to get this thing from one place to another. So I don't know necessarily what we can do with that information besides maybe crack the thing open, at night and see what's in there. But I do think we might have an opportunity upon us.
Is a train laced to the cars? What else is attached behind it?
He told me I might have stopped listening there for a minute because he was real.
Are you asking the DM to clarify?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, what he said was that the secure storage, right, would be the third car from the engine. So there's the engine. So there's the engine. There's something else. There's the coal cabin, and then there's the secure storage. That is the closest they can come to it.
Okay, so they
Okay.
were smart and they didn't set it near the back so that the back could just get detached from the main train and get left behind all stealthy like. Smart bastards putting it in a good spot.
I mean, well, we could just detach the train and kill everyone inside, but maybe we shouldn't do that. Um, Either way, I mean, you guys know it's not real hard for me to turn into someone else, so it wouldn't be difficult, at night for me to sneak in there and take a look. But, this is a group decision. I don't want to say we should do something because it could be dangerous unless everyone's on board for it.
Yeah. Got any idea who owns it?
Um, I mean, all I really gathered was that it had been essentially placed here by someone with a lot of money that they had paid out for it to be transferred quickly and unexpectedly. And I believe that they might have some affiliation, possibly with the CUS, but I don't know for sure. It's I didn't ask that question. I probably should have, but I don't think it really matters because anyone who's going to have enough money to pay for something like that, the hiring of a train, the hiring of all the people carrying it, the iron box itself, and whatever inside will probably be fine without it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, as long as it's somebody who's got enough, they ain't gonna miss it.
I mean, they might miss it, but I don't think they need it.
Nah, I mean, even if they miss it, they gotta use that money for something better.
I
Especially
mean,
if it's
yeah,
CUS. If they're just transporting something. I mean, that's just somebody rich making more money, right? Like, good on them, but
probably. Yeah.
at the end of the day, fuck them.
I mean, yeah. We can call it reparations. We'll just reclaim it. It'll be ours. We'll put it to good use. Like a charity donation almost, if you think about it.
I don't like the idea that someone else may have to die for it.
Hopefully
Oh,
not.
yeah, I don't want to kill anyone if we can avoid it. I mean, first of all, there's no reason to. Second of all, it just complicates things. But I might be able to slip in and at least get a look at it and see what we're dealing with. We can always, you know, I mean, there are other options to just killing someone.
For us, we get caught. We was just testing security is all. Making sure we're up to snuff.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I'm thinking I could just probably turn into one of the security guards I've seen. I've been walking up and down the train all day, and wouldn't be too hard to turn into one of them. And in the middle of the night, say I'm there to do a walkthrough or some other nonsense, and get in there and get a look at it.
I don't know the ins and outs of espionage, but if you think you can do it, I'll trust you.
I think I should be fine, but I just want to make sure everyone else is okay with this. Like I said, it could be dangerous for us, and I don't want to put anyone in any danger they aren't comfortable with.
Yeah, as long as Dusty and Milo are going to be alright, that's all I really care about.
I see no harm
Okay.
in looking.
Okay. Well, sounds like we've got a vote for it then. So, guys, I think we might have just gotten real lucky.
Yeah. Now, you think we're going to be lucky enough that we can actually get off the train, with the wagon intact?
Why don't we burn that bridge when we cross it?
Well, it depends on if it's made of wood or not, I suppose.
It does indeed. So I think that we first of all should take a look because we don't even know if it's going to be something worth stealing. So we can get our hopes up and start planning ahead if we don't even know what we've got in our hands, and then we can go from there.
What do the rest of you say?
No harm in taking a look. Then we can make a decision on the wisdom of liberation.
Yeah. Where'd Valik go?
I think he might be dead. He's slumped over there, not
No,
responding to
he's
anything. Did
Valik
he
is
have too many beers?
Valik
Like,
is.
I know he left for the dishes, but
I would. Well, because
Did he
here's the
have too much
thing.
to drink?
Valik has just got up and left.
Oh, right.
Penny would
Oh,
have
yeah.
noticed that he's sitting in the dining car.
Oh, I think he just needed some space. He's kind of, I feel like deep down he's a sensitive guy, and I feel like sometimes we're all just a little much for him. So I saw him in the dining car. I think he's probably just taking a breather for a minute.
I must have left when I was taking a swig. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, he's quick and quiet, that one. Unexpectedly with all the armor.
But that's what worries me. I didn't even notice, but he sounds like a freight train coming through.
True. Maybe we should get your hearing checked, Galen. I'm a little bit worried about you now.
It's all those hammer things, you know. Struck an
makes
anvil
sense.
too many times. It's like having gunfire in your ear all day.
Yeah, maybe
we
you should
get,
try like
cotton
sawdust
balls.
in your ears. Yeah, or that. Either one works.
Sawdust's too fine of a particulate. I'd never get that out. Just make
Oh,
myself
that's
deaf.
fair. Oh, that's not good. We don't want to do that. Okay. Well, I think that's a good idea. The guy sitting out there near the door with the big, fun-looking gun. He seems to really hate the people he's working for. I have a pretty strong feeling that if we offered to cut him in for a decent amount, that probably is more than what he makes what he makes here in like, I don't know, 6 months. He might be willing to turncoat and join us at least for this.
Probably more
Do
than
we
we
think?
make in 6 months combined.
Oh,
I mean,
again,
yeah.
we should look to see what it is first before starting
That's
to make
fair.
offers. Because what if we make an offer and then we find out it's someone's prized collection of milk chocolate?
I mean, they could sell.
Well,
Not for a lot, but it could sell. If it don't melt.
I mean,
first.
also, it could just really give us, make us feel really good. And I'm sure he would love some chocolate as well. It's expensive. So, but I see what you're saying. I agree. We should wait.
I think it might be some Frere Rocher.
I'd like to think so.
I've heard about those.
That's a
Never
really
gotten to
nice
try
thought.
one myself.
We'll have to get you one next time we're somewhere that sells the fancy chocolate.
Good luck finding them not melted.
That's fair.
Guess they're kept down in a root cellar. Just starts mumbling onto himself about how somebody would keep chocolate from melting
Oh
in a
my
fucking
God.
desert.
So, what's the next step from here, guys?
I think Penny is gonna want to wait until late. I think that's her pitch. Until it's like nighttime
Okay.
and
Okay.
most people are in bed,
Right.
and then go check out what's in the thing.
Exploration.
Right.
Yes.
And then the planning stage of if it's something worthwhile. The planning stage of how to do it with as few casualties as possible. Which
As
means
Yes.
being not noticed.
So, with all of this, Valik,
Yep.
the dining car is almost abandoned. There's basically you, Quinn's, the two guys at the far end, that are guarding it, and like one old half-orc gentleman reading a newspaper. It is very quiet.
And they say word disrupt.
Quinn's is occasionally kind of looking in your direction, but generally kind of keeping to himself. But he's trying to keep to himself, keep his curiosity in check, It's failing intermittently. But he's trying.
I'll, since he's the only one paying attention, I'll go sit next to him, I guess.
Yeah, he's, he sees you actually, like, walking towards him. It just kind of snaps to attention.
Just ask him how his day is going. Seems pretty dead in here to have all these guards.
Well, that it is, sir. But we will do our duty, nonetheless, to protect this train from harm.
From what? Last I heard, there's not much to protect it from in this area.
Any sorts of things out there in the desert. Now hear about them sandworms, them saltworms. Hear about them giant mirrorfish that fry you alive.
You mean to convince me you're going to run out there and fight one of those sandworms?
Hell to the no, sir.
When we're in a train? I mean,
That
any
is.
other time, it's just they just speed up and try and outrun them.
Do you mean they do that?
I would like to insight him if he's actually he's playing dumb or.
Go ahead and insight him. I roll the insight. 17. With a 17 insight, you get the sensation he's not playing stupid, and he's not green either. It's just that he's never had to deal with, like, the desert. He's only ever dealt with, like, the manageable portion of it. Right? He's never had to fight the wildlife. It's mainly been, like, person-on-person conflict. He doesn't seem to be incapable, just...
Oh, I get it. It's a whole different worm, or a whole different, worm. Yeah, worm.
Worm.
Can of worms.
Whole different can of worms.
When you're fighting a sandworm, like
those are real. I thought that was something that the Asmondi talked about. That Asmondi told people about to keep them away from their trade routes.
oh, very much so real, my friend. It's nothing you want to try and face off in hand-to-hand combat.
Kind of looks down. He's got like on his hip. He has like a little cavalry saber. But like he looks at it and he looks at it just like just notably disappointed.
I see here, the only thing that thing there is going to do for you against one of those sandworms is slow you down to make it easier to be eaten.
I mean, would a spear be better? I got one of them. It's not, kind of told I shouldn't be using one, but I got one. I don't know how likely you think it is that we do, we get sandworms because this is just a job.
I'm less worried about the sandworms because you don't really have armed guards in the train to protect against a sandworm with sabers. You use cannons and firearms for that type of stuff.
I mean, we all got weapons, sir. Kind of like he does have a revolver on his hip. Well, he is armed. Like it's just he's.
But let me put this a little more. Maybe you can visualize it. You mean to tell me you're going to take your saber and your pistol to fight something the size of this train?
I would assume that my fellows would assist me in this matter. But seriously, how likely is it that the sandworms are going to attack the train? Because look, I joined this to get some money from my mama because she's like kind of ill and like.
Let me before I answer your question, what knowing the answer to that, what does that change your current predicament if we do or do not get attacked?
I could reasonably jump off the train before we get, too far over the blank. Probably make it back to St. Karam in a day or so. I'd rather not. I like the pay, but, well, you know how it is.
Well, I hope you would have a well executed plan to carry out if you're going to jump the train in the middle of the desert. It's pretty unforgiving. I'm not too concerned about the outside per se attacking. I am still a little perplexed with all the added guards.
Yeah, I mean, it's a train. It needs protecting. Some rich
from
folk
what,
on here.
From what, a tiefling ordering dinner?
Look, I don't like the people that I've been hired by either, right? It's just a paycheck. Y'all folks seem nice enough. If some rich so-and-so wants to try to tell me what to do, right? As long as he's paying, I'm willing to put up with it for a certain limited degree. But I ain't gotta like the work.
Well, seems like your other friend Theo and you get along pretty well and have similar thought processes there.
Yeah, I mean Theo's all right. Theo's an all right guy. I was real green when I met him a couple winters ago, and he showed me how to shoot right. I was doing this thing them kids in Iron Hall are doing, where they got their guns, they hold them sideways. I was doing that because I was real green, and he told me I was an idiot for doing that, and so I stopped. Stopped doing that. Taught me to shoot proper. Just got me started in the business, and well, I kind of just signed on with him.
Well, he seems able to carry himself. It's probably a good idea to hang around him.
Yeah, I mean, he's good enough sort. If it's any more possible, he hates these people more than I do.
I think everyone hates these people, but these people, I think they even hate the other these people hate the other these people.
Maybe that's why.
Especially if they might have more.
As Quickfeather just drops in from the ceiling. Well,
you want a drink or something? You've been working pretty hard for a few hours now.
He's just kind of looking around. You know what? Drink wouldn't be bad. Got another few hours. I got another few hours before I gotta go relieve Theo out there. I do wonder where everyone did go.
Yeah, it's got me a little unnerved. Have you gone and checked on him? I mean, it seems a little odd. I haven't seen anyone come in or out for the last 20, 30 minutes or so.
He's, no offense, sir. He was out back with y'all.
I was just talking about random people. I saw Theo doing a fine job standing guard, keeping us safe.
Keeping you safe. That's what he's doing.
Sometimes the best way to keep us safe is to keep the bad people away from us.
I do suppose.
Otherwise, we tend to be the bad people or do the bad things.
whatever, like, stares at you for a minute, and whatever you just said went over his head. Just like, kind of like, huh?
Yeah, let out a little bit of sigh, take his hat off, put it on the table. Like, look, when good people come with pitchforks and torches to tell this poor fellow to get off the train because they don't like him because he looks a little different. Bad things happen.
Well,
The
yeah.
line between good and bad gets muddied.
I don't know if it's too muddy. You tell someone to get off the train just because they got horns or a funny eye color or, you know, extra pinkies or whatever. It seems kind of wrong to me, but
So what I'm trying to tell you here is by him being there, it keeps the others away from us, thus avoiding any unfortunate situations altogether.
yeah, I do suppose.
Why don't you go make a round real quick and check on some of the passengers and see what are they doing? I mean, there ain't nothing else to do in this train. And I'll get you some drinks here ready.
Yeah. And I would say as he kind of like stands up, nodding, kind of like looking like he's thinking to himself a little bit. He leaves. You notice that as he gets up, leaves, goes back into the other cars. Just so I know where you're going from here. Just going back to where you're sitting, or
Yeah, I'm just hanging out. I might go see if homegirl's still there. Get a couple drinks.
and as you kind of sitting down, your gaze kind of falls on the other two guards who are at the other end of the train, who let Quinn's just kind of go past. But the other end, they kind of both just like stand, like they both, once he goes through, stand shoulder to shoulder and just, one of them just like locks eyes with you. He don't blink for a real long minute.
I've been training my whole life for this.
And as the train hurtles onwards, that is where we are going to end for the night.
Oh my god! I think we have some plans. I think we've been quite productive.
And,
I agree with that.
and I hope everybody enjoyed. Thank you, everyone, for watching me talk in funny voices for a couple of hours. And
Hell yeah!
we'll see you the next time. And we'll see all of you next week when I get to talk in funny
Goodbye.
voices again.
Startling adventures of that
These
group.
people.
These people,
These people.
We are
you know,
these
the
people.
people,
These people.
the guys.
That's the group name now.
The
These
boys.
people.
Oh no!
Oh no!
You don't want to be, I don't think I want to be those boys.
I don't want to be
Those
Huey.
ones.
Be
I
these
don't-